In this video, we are going to talk about the debilitation of Mercury, Mercury in the sign of Pisces, and all through the nakshatras, padas, and much more to it. So keep watching. Namaste and welcome to Pramanic Astrology channel. I'm your host Prasad Mahazani. Help you raise your vibrations and become your true self with the help of Vedic Astrology. Mercury is all about the intellect, intelligence, communication, and many more things to it. If you want to know more about Mercury, go and watch a dedicated video about Mercury. When Mercury comes into the sign of Pisces, it gets debilitated. But this debilitation is not same throughout. Okay. Now, let us talk about the nakshatras. We talked about the debilitation is not same throughout the signs. What do I mean by that? First thing, there are three nakshatras into the sign of Pisces: Purva Bhadrapada, Uttara Bhadrapada, and Revati. Purva Bhadrapada is ruled by Jupiter. It ranges from 20 degrees Aquarius to 3 degrees 20 minutes of Pisces. And it has four padas: the Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer. So when you have Mercury debilitated into the sign of Pisces and is into the third pada of the Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra, it does great because it's into the sign of Gemini in Namancha. Next is Uttarashada Nakshatra. Uttarashada Nakshatra ranges, did I say Uttarashada? Excuse me, Uttara Bhadrapada. Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra ranges from 3 degrees 20 minutes to the 16 degrees 40 minutes of Pisces. Uttara Bhadrapada is ruled by Saturn and it has four padas, which is Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio. So when you have planet Mercury into the sign of Pisces into the second pada of Uttara Bhadrapada, it does great because it's into the sign of Virgo in Namansha. Now let's go to the Revati Nakshatra. Revati Nakshatra has range from the 16 degrees 40 minutes to the 30 degrees 0 minutes of the Pisces. And it has four padas, which is about the Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So when you have a planet Mercury debilitated in Mercury and into the fourth pada of the Mercury, which goes into the Pisces Namansha, it makes this Mercury Vargottama and it cancels out the debilitation, right? And there are many other cancellation of debilitation and Nicha Bhanga Raj Yoga, which I have discussed into one of my videos about the Nicha Bhanga Raj Yoga. I will put the link into the description section. Go and watch that video as well. Before that, quickly, what is the sign of Pisces? The sign of Pisces is the 12th sign of the zodiac, ruled by Jupiter. It is a water element sign, which is an emotional sign, which is all about the deep sea water. It is a water element sign along with Scorpio and Cancer, but the water element of Cancer and Scorpio is different and the sign of Pisces is altogether different. It is on a different level. It is all about the depth. So this is all about the depth and about isolation and all the 12th house qualities to it, which is quiet, which is shy, which is about, researching into the isolation, looking for that abstract things and trying to put that into the reality. All these significations can be seen with the Pisces sign. Pisces sign is ruled by Jupiter, so it also has the Jupiterian qualities to it, like wisdom. Wisdom from the divine source or the abstract source can be seen with the Pisces. We talked about the element, water element. It is intuitive. Along with intuition, it also about the emotions, about the feelings. Okay, so the sign of Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, is water element sign, and is the sign which is dual in nature. What is this duality is all about? If you look at the dual signs 3, 6, 9, and 12, these are the signs just before the cardinal sign. 12th sign is just before the first, third is just before the fourth, sixth is just before the seventh. So these duality is about the transformation which brings in the transformation of the fixed signs to the next cardinal sign. Okay, if you look at the cardinal signs 1, 4, 7, 10, in between that we have one fixed sign and one dual sign, which brings that uh, fixed sign into the next cardinal sign and takes this to the next level, and so on. So the dual sign has the duality, which allows certain fixed nature, which is fixed in some way, and allows certain changes which are required to go to the next cardinal sign. Okay, so this is important function of the dual sign, and Pisces is one of the dual sign. Now what happens when you have Mercury in the sign of Jupiter? You might feel that Jupiter and Mercury might be friends because they are all about wisdom and intellect. But in fact, if you look at the signs, they have signs opposite to each other. Okay, so the sign of Pisces is all about the deep knowledge, and the planet of Mercury is all about the variety of knowledge. It's like the Gemini person who is jack of all trade and who doesn't like to master or go into the depth of any subject. That's what Mercury is. And that's why it feels uncomfortable into the sign of Pisces, which is like an ocean. It is serious business. If you want to study Pisces, if you want to, look at the planets in Pisces, you have to be very careful because it is deep. You may not realize the true nature of that person or the planets involved. Okay, if you have ascendant into the Pisces or ascendant Lord into the Pisces, these people are secretive, quiet, shy, and like to be alone because the planet of ascendant is into the sign of isolation. So always remember this. It is not an easy sign to decode. And Mercury is a fun-loving and, the planet which loves variety. So it gets frustrated into the sign of depth. Mercury is the planet of intellect. The planet of intellect comes into the sign of research and, deep knowledge and occult knowledge, mystical knowledge, divine guidance. So these people might have an inclination towards going deep into subject or going into a subject with different angles to it. Okay, and this makes person humble because Pisces is an ocean. You cannot go to the bottom of this deep knowledge. It's not possible. So when you see something beyond your self, you get humble. When you look at the sun, when you look at the sunlight, you become humble. When you look at the depth of the water, you become humble because you cannot conquer it. You have to surrender it. That's what sign of Pisces is. And when the planet of the intellect comes in here, it makes person go into the depth of the subject he chooses. But wait a minute, Mercury gets debilitated into the sign of Pisces, right? But we are talking all good stuff about it. Yes, these are the positives of the Mercury into the sign of Pisces. Now let us look at the other side of the Mercury in the Pisces. Mercury is all about your communication, is about expressing yourself through communication, is about choosing the right words, about writing emails, communication, media, all that stuff. Now it goes into the deep water. Just imagine you are diving into a deep water. And when you dive deep into the water, the first thing you lose is freedom because there is a pressure of water. So when you are into the Pisces sign, you cannot move freely. So there is no clarity, there is lack of movement. That's why Mercury does great into the air element sign, like Mercury in the sign of Gemini. It does great job. But when it comes into the sign of Pisces, it feels frustrated with the clarity. It does not have the clarity and the movement he wants in the subject. And this movement is not the physical movement, the movement to change things frequently. Mercury is not the person of the depth, is the person of the variety. So it feels restricted into the sign of Pisces, which is all about going into the depth. When Mercury is in the sign of Pisces, these people feel difficulty in expressing themselves. These people cannot express themselves. Yes, Pisces is the sign of water element, yet Mercury struggles to express themselves in this sign. They cannot express themselves with the right words. There is no clarity for the thoughts for Mercury in this sign. And if you want to go deep into astrology, or if you want to learn more about Vedic astrology, these two videos on your screen, just click on them and watch them. They will help you go further faster into Vedic astrology, sending you high vibrations, love, and peace.